It's time to start thinking about fall. For those growers planning on winter wheat, Soil Biotics Organic 1R seed treatment can be applied to organic winter wheat seed for increased germination and better stands. We have seen results of as many as 5,000 more live plants per acre. For your post-harvest residue digestion and soil maintenance program, Soil Biotics SB 5500 is the answer. It contains beneficial microorganisms that degrade dead plant tissue, converting it to valuable organic matter and reducing disease and insect pressure. See their entire lineup at soilbiotics.com.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sam Dobson here from North Carolina. Hope everybody's doing good out there. October now, and we're just kind of rolling out of harvesting our silage. We finished up with that about 10 days ago. We had a really good crop. Corn and sorghum both did well. We got plenty of feed, I believe. And we spent this week just trying to making a lot of dry hay, and now we're putting seed in the ground, getting cover crops in the ground, planting a lot of ryegrass, triticale for grazing, getting some orchard grass and red clover in the ground too. We're trying to get it established this fall. So we're kind of in the short rows on field work. A little different than last year. Last year in October, we had a lot of 90-degree days. We were in the 80s yesterday, but we've had pretty seasonably cool the last 3 weeks. A lot of temperatures in the low 70s and lows in the, or the highs in the low 70s and lows in the upper 40s, 50s, low 50s, which has felt really good, and the cows have really enjoyed it. I have a feeling that we're getting ready to go into a really bad winter, and I know all you folks in Wisconsin and Ohio, New York, wherever, is laughing at the North Carolinians saying that, but we've got a huge acorn crop, a lot of walnuts, persimmons, everything that grows wild that has a nut or a berry is a bumper crop, so we're expecting a big bad winter down here. And we've had some frost in the mountains just north of us. We've already had some frost, which last year I think it was about November before anybody had any, and we've not had any here at our farm, but it's starting to happen up north of here a little bit. But cows are starting to pick up milk a little bit. We do a lot of fall calving, so we're calving cows and some heifers and trying to build the numbers back up going into the winter, and seems like they're going to do well. Hopefully we can get some rain out of this hurricane to kind of get the winter annual grasses growing and looking good, and hopefully do some fall grazing towards Thanksgiving. We'll just have to wait and see. Our summer annuals with those cool days, they're pretty well done now. We've actually gone in and overseeded that land or working it up now and getting ready to sow it. So we are grazing some perennials, orchard grasses. They are still pretty good. We're trying to stockpile some fescue that we'll start grazing after a good killing frost. And overall, things are pretty good. Not too bad down here.
So when you say your fescue, is that just the Kentucky 31?
Yeah, we still have a good bit of Kentucky 31 here, but we've gotten to where we plant a lot of the newer varieties. Some of the the Martin II, the Towers, I think they're actually end-of-fight friendly fescues. There's a lot of beef guys down here that grow like the Max Q, some of that kind of stuff that's end-of-fight free, and they all do fairly well. You just don't get the long life. First fescue planted in North Carolina was on this farm, and I'm certainly not bragging about that because it seems to be the worst thing that's ever happened. But my great uncle was a professor at NC State, and he brought some home in 1940, and that stand still lives today back here in one of our heifer pastures.
I'm not sure you want to put a historical landmark
I
sign
know.
up.
I've got a big sign out there that says "Do not enter." But it's one of those. It's one of those deals that fescue. These Kentucky 31s. If you'll stockpile that stuff this time of year, especially when you get some cool weather like we've had and some moisture where it'll do a lot of fall growth, and then it hits a hard frost. The sugars go way back up, those endophytes go down, and it could be some phenomenal winter grazing. I mean, it has a place from about, hard frost until, really April, mid-April. It's really good. It's just once you get into hot weather, it's horrible. I mean, it's just so many, it affects fertility, growth, you name it, it has a negative effect on cattle. So.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned something about a bumper nut crop, and just last night I went out in our woods with our 8-year-old looking at the trail camera, looking for deer, and I have never in my life seen acorns like I've seen this year. So that's the sign of
unreal.
A hard winter?
That's what we old folks say down here. And there's an old saying I heard the other day, what was it? Fog in August means terrible winter. I'd never heard that. And then my dad brought it up the other day. We had a lot of fog, wet weather and fog in August. And the old folks said if you had fog in August down here that you'd have a bad winter.
No kidding.
And I've never heard that. But apparently then several of the old guys here on the road, they've all are saying the same thing. So I've never there's a bunch of white oaks in my yard, an old homestead here, and at night it literally sounds like we're just getting somebody's just peppering us with shotgun on the house. It's the baker's falling all night. It's hard to get any sleep, but it's incredible. And persimmons, great big persimmons, walnuts, hickory nuts, you name it. It's crazy.
Wow. I'm really curious now because last winter we had no snow. For the first time that I can remember, we got a couple of dustings, but by noon the next day they'd be gone. We got one like 2 inches, but it was gone by the next night. So I'm really curious what's going to happen this winter.
Last winter we had a snow December the 11th. And it was about 1 inch, 2 inches gone, like you say, the next day. We started grazing winter annuals January the 1st, and we never stopped last winter. And I've never done that. Never. Mm-hmm. And everybody has their own theories and opinions, but I tell you, it's been interesting to me. I think there's a correlation with this COVID stuff, and I'm 60 miles from Charlotte. We always see those airplanes, and the sky's been empty all since this COVID thing's happened. You see an occasional airplane. I don't know. I think there's something to it. We had a true spring, a true summer. We're having a true fall, and I think we're going to have a true winter. But I don't know. It just seems to me like the environment's kind of been cleaned up a little bit this year with all this lessened traffic. And I can't help but wonder if nature's getting to do its thing and kind of be normal this year. There's no science to that whatsoever. That's just me thinking out here on the farm. But, I had a guy deliver some cattle from up here in the mountains, and he said the leaves are going to probably be the prettiest color this year it's been in a decade or so. And, it's just, we're having a true fall, and it's good to see.
That's really
good for heavy people like me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we're just now really getting our leaves are turning. It's been just a wonderful fall, just like you said, clear skies. Every once in a while you see an airplane go by, and it brings me back to when I was a kid. So
it has been so nice. there's a maple over here across the road from where I'm sitting now, and it's just as pretty and red as you'll see. And last year, I think it just turned brown and died. So it's kind of fun to see for sure.
Yep. Well, hey, it's great to hear that you're having I guess, a normal year, a really good year, and a wonderful fall. So I know this time of year things are crazy, and I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with me today. So thanks a lot, Sam.
Absolutely, Mike. Yep, thank you.
Well, the report from Oregon is we got rain and western breezes on the back end of all the fire and smoke we dealt with last month, and we've cleared out the air, so that's a whole lot better than what it was. The wildfire danger up in Oregon now has pretty much subsided on the west side of the Cascades. They still have fires burning up in the mountains, and they will burn for a while until we get serious winter rains in about a month. For now, most of the real damage is over. It's just small little things that are going at this point. And so far, we're at the time of the year in Western Oregon where the jet stream changes and we start getting into a wetter climate, weather pattern, and that's precipitated by the winds coming usually now directly from the west, which brings storms in here. We've had a couple storms blow through that brought us an inch of rain a week apart, and we're supposed to have almost 2 inches of rain this weekend. So we're pretty much done with the fires. The thing we did find from being without any sun for a whole 10 days here and smoke is that it did stress a lot of things. There were a lot of trees that were just dropping their leaves prematurely. A lot of the oak trees just started dropping leaves. I've never seen that before. I don't know, the signal was that there was no sun, that maybe it was time to lose the leaves. So we saw some of that. The trees definitely aren't looking as healthy as they normally do this time of the year, even though we're heading into fall and when the leaves fall off anyway. And we did notice a pretty marked production in milk after the smoke had even cleared. And I really attribute that to just a lack of sugars in the forages out in the field, because you really need the sunshine to make energy, and without any sun for 10 days, the energy levels, I'm sure, just plummeted in all those grasses and clovers and forbs out there. So we have seen a pretty shocking decline in production after that. We're starting to tick back up now, just a little bit since we have seen some sunny days. So that's a good news. But we're getting closer now to being in the barn for wintertime. Usually that happens sometime in early to mid-November. So we're kind of just getting everything put to bed right now. All the irrigation pumps are out of the river. The lagoon is completely empty and ready to be filled up again for wintertime storage. And we're kind of on cruise mode now, finishing up. The pastures are slowing down a little bit. We haven't had a frost yet, which keeps them going a little better. So we're just kind of on that 3-4 week slow burn till we start with the cows in the barn.
Mm-hmm. So last month you had mentioned that you had sorghum Sudan to cut, but you couldn't because of no sunshine. Did you end up getting that harvested? And if you did, what was the quality like?
We did get it harvested. We had sorghum Sudan and a field of the new planted alfalfa, which was its first cutting. And, the plants definitely didn't have the same color to them as they did 10 days previously when we were going to harvest them. I guess we'll tell once we start feeding that feed. It's all in round bales. And so we'll see usually sorghum Sudan slows down once the days start to shorten and it starts getting cool. This year, once we had that smoke, it just precipitated a quicker slowdown. So in the sorghum Sudan that I was grazing here at the dairy, it just stopped. Absolutely quit. It was done for the season. It was time for us to work that field pretty close anyway, work it and replant it into permanent pasture that we just did with about a 12 species mix that we put in the pasture. And so we just went ahead and worked that ground, grazed it. We grazed it. We should have gotten 4 or 5 feedings out of it. We got 2 feedings, and I probably should have made it 1 feeding out of that field because they're just the sorghum Sudan had said no more. We're done.
Wow. Now, are you seeing the cows getting kind of back to normal activity, or are they still a little messed up?
No, we're seeing them get back to normal activity. We did notice an uptick in some foot rot cases, and I don't know if that had to do with different microbes that were active without any sunshine, or what that occurrence was. It was just immediate, however, during and right after the smoke. So. I don't know. I don't think we know. We don't know what we don't know, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Were there any dairy farms in your area there that were actually affected by fires going through their farm?
There were a couple Organic Valley farms that were right on the edge of it, like right on the edge, and they were given evacuation orders. And they actually would go and sleep somewhere else at night and then come back to the farm because their farms, were green and it's pretty hard to burn green grass. But luckily, their barns didn't go up in flames, and they had generators so they could get the cows milked. I think they went down to once a day milking at that point because things were just crazy. But having no power makes them a whole lot tougher on the farm without being able to pump water or do any of those kind of things. So there were some challenges for a couple of our farmers.
Yeah, I'm sure. I know some of the pictures that I saw from that area when the fires were burning. It's hard to even comprehend that here where I'm sitting in Ohio. So I know there were lots of thoughts and prayers were headed that direction because it was a scary time for sure.
Yeah, I think the word that fits it all is hellscape. It just seemed that's just what it felt like. It was just strange and odd, and it just seemed like a hellscape with the glowing colors and the smoke and no sun. It was something that I don't care to deal with every day. I'm afraid that we are going to be facing that more and more as our climate has been changing and we get a little hotter and a little drier during the hot summer months, and weather patterns have changed quite a bit. So we seem to be a lot of times staying a little wetter into spring, and then just never seeing the rain in the fall. As a little kid, cows came in the barn basically by Halloween because it was just that way. And in fact, when we started the farm down here 30 years ago, it was that way pretty much. It was an odd year to have them out past that. The last 5 or 6 or 7 years, it's odd if they're not out till the middle of November. So we definitely have been witnessing a shift where it's warmer. We don't get the freezes through the winter like we used to have to put a curtain up in our parlor most every winter, several weeks a year to keep the pipes from freezing, and we haven't had to deploy the curtain in 3 or 4 years now. So the guys are kind of forgetting how to even do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, so
crazy times.
It is crazy. We are seeing a change. There's no doubt about it. I'm fearing it's not a short-term change. So may be our new normal, and I don't like the sounds of that one. So.
Well, Jon, I'm really glad to hear that this month's update is a lot better than last month's, and I'm really glad to hear things are going better. So I want to thank you for taking the time to give me an update today, and I hope you guys have a great week out there.
Hey, I appreciate that. Yep. Stay safe out there, guys.
This is Thomas Heckman from West Central Ohio for the October update. So we've had some nice fall weather here. It's been cooler, dry. This week the temps came back up. It's nice and sunny. Great weather, great fall weather. Drier weather. We haven't had a good rain since the last podcast. We had that 3.5 inches right. We were chopping corn right then. So we've had maybe 2-3 tenths here and there, some heavy dews. But I can't complain. Compared to the last 2 wet falls, it's been really nice. Weather's been nice. A light frost. We've had some light frosts. I don't think we've really had a killing frost yet. So can't complain on the weather. So field work, we got that corn all chopped off. And we had chopped, we chopped 10 more loads or something. We finished that field up. We hauled manure. I actually, it's one of the things I hire. I don't hire much out, but we do hire. I just started putting a new manure pit in the last 2 years, and I got some friends that haul manure with semis and tankers, and they trucked onto that chopped cornfield. We trucked dairy manure on there, and we worked that in. We took disc ripper through it because we felt like we packed it down when we chopped it, since we had to chop right after that rain. That timing wasn't the best. And so we ran the disc ripper over it and poly mulched it down, and it worked up pretty good. Planted triticale in there. It's coming up. I didn't actually go look at it, but Dad said it's coming up, about getting an inch tall, so the field should be turning green before long. So that's good. Hopefully maybe we'll get some rain here coming this weekend with this hurricane, and that'd really pop her up. Nice. We made third cutting on alfalfa. It'd be more like, in a regular year, it'd be more like fourth cut, but this was on the new seedings. It's pretty nice feed. It had some foxtail in it, dead foxtail, but it had nice alfalfa, so we got some nice cow hay there. Probably, 150 bale, 180 bale probably off of that. Field work-wise, that's about all. We're getting the combine ready. I've never done high moisture corn. We're going to put high moisture corn in a bag. If my corn does what I think it will, we won't have enough bend space, so without moving a bunch of stuff around, and so I thought I'd try this. It's not drying down real fast, so I'd have to pay to dry it. So if my pencil, it seems like it's not really going to cost me much different to put it into a high moisture corn bag compared to drying it down. So it's been a calm, nice fall for field work. Things just keep clicking real nice and smooth for us. I can't complain. Crops are good. A lot of beans. A lot of guys are taking beans off this week. I bet a lot of the beans will be off this week around here. We don't have any beans out, but a lot of guys are running hard, taking beans off, putting wheat in. So cows, grazing, we're over 6 times over. We're feeding a lot at the bunk anymore. Just there's some out there, they're just picky about what they're eating. Being dry, there's feed there, just not, it's just getting thin. But the cows are doing better. We're at a 4 fat, 3.2 protein. I'm feeding for 65 pounds of milk. I'm at 63 pounds right now. We're going to keep bumping them up before winter time, so I'm keep I got more quota, and I got a quota extension now, so we're going to ship more milk next year. So we're just going to keep working them up through that. And other than that, everything's good. I shouldn't say neat thing, but thing that I noticed around here, a lot of stuff on this podcast. We're a lot of organic farmers, and so there was a lot of rootworm in our neighborhood this year, and a lot of conventional fields traded corn that were all bottlenecked and down and stuff, and some of them even had insecticide on them. And I was told that the rootworm pressure was too high for the traits and insecticide, so I thought that was kind of interesting. So far, we haven't really seen any problems in our own fields, but most of it was corn on corn fields. But other than that, things are doing nice for us.
So, Thomas, do you grind your high moisture before you bag it, or are you just bagging it whole?
We'll grind it. My brother-in-law does it. And my father-in-law does it too. But it's a grinder. There's a hammer mill on the bagger, and I'm doing a 6-foot bag so I can feed it fast enough. But they do 10. They got steers and they do 10-foot bags. But yeah, I think it's a Roto Grinds, the brand. I've never done it before, so this is first year. But yeah, it'll be ground, so I can just dump it right in the TMR and feed.
Okay.
So that'll be kind of nice.
Yeah, so there's a hammer mill on the bagger.
Yeah, there's a hammer mill. You auger it into the hammer mill, and then that blows it into the bagger, I guess, as that grinds it. So it's
neat.
I know a lot of people do it. We just never done it ourselves. So it should be. They say it's good feed, and I want the grind feed this winter. So
yeah,
that'd be nice.
How's the new parlor coming along?
I just bought the stalls, and I bought the milking equipment. They're all used, and we're getting some plans drawn up. So we're hoping this winter. Well, that's the plan this winter. So it's coming along. A lot of planning, trying to get everything lined up. So just talked to my electrician this week to get power to it, and yeah. So we're all in the planning stages. But I did buy the parlor equipment and stuff. So a guy had a bunch of used stuff, and he put in his parlor, and then he didn't make it milking. He got out of milking or farming completely. So I made him offer on that, and I bought all that equipment he had. He had a bunch of spare stuff, so I can use about half of it. So it's a start.
Yeah, once you've got that parlor up and running, I want to come see it.
Yeah, you can milk in it. You can try it out.
Easy. All right, well, hey, it's nice to hear that you're having a nice fall out there. Glad things are going well, and thanks for taking the time today.
Sounds good. See you, Mike.
This is John. I'm in Lancaster, Wisconsin, doing my regional report. The last time we had talked, I just finished corn silage. I had time to figure out. We ended up with about between 20 and 22 tons of the acre on my corn silage, which is really good. We filled a 135-foot bag, 14 by 30 silo, and a 50 by 50 by 7 pit on 26 acres. So that ran really good. Moisture was right at 68 to 70, like we liked it. Since then, we did all our new seeding, which yielded really well. We had about 200 big squares on about 75 acres. I think that ran really well. So we're about ready to start combining some corn. My wet stuff, I think it's going to be right around that 30 right now. So give it another couple of weeks, we'll get going on high moisture. And then hopefully roll right into dry. And everything that we took corn silage off of, we got winter wheat planted. It's all up good. The stuff that we take high moisture off of, we're going to hope to
till down and put some rye in. We're breaking out about 10 to 15 acres on CRP from a renter that wants to start working it. So we're tilling that down today, hoping to get some rye into that. And I don't think we'll take any more new seeding off. Once we had a couple of hard frosts. I don't know if it was a killing frost, so we're going to wait a couple more weeks and then hopefully graze some fields off that after the corn's all out. Moisture-wise, we've been pretty fortunate. Every couple of weeks, it seems like we get about a half inch to an inch. Right now, it's in the drier range, but I'm happy with it. We're trying to get some field work out. This last week, our highs were around 60, lows hit upper 30s at night, and this week looks like the highs are going to be in the 70s, the lows in the 45 to 50. So perfect fall weather. Leaves are changing. Next week should be pretty well full color. And so, yeah, that's what's happening in Lancaster.
Hey, John, what moisture do you try to take your wet or dry corn?
So my wet corn, about 25 to 28 is kind of my range. I don't like to go any wetter than 28, but I don't like to get too much drier than 25. And then for dry corn, I really like to take it in the low 20s, if not teens. Because the last couple of years we put dry in just a little wetter than that, and we've had issues.
Mm-hmm.
So we're putting in a stirrator this year for the first time, and hope to solve some of them problems.
Do you put your high moisture in an upright silo or a bag?
Upright silo. We got a 25 by 30 harvester that we put it in.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And we use that all for dairy cows, and then we got a 5,000 bushel dry bin that we use for the chicken.
Mm-hmm. How many acres of corn do you have?
I think we got about 100, right around 100 at the combine.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we planted about 130, and we chopped off 25 to 27 acres there.
How you put cover crops in after you took corn silage off, didn't you?
Yes, we put winter wheat in, and that's all up about an inch and a half.
Now you won't graze that, will you?
No. But we will next spring. Basically, as soon as the frost comes out of the ground and we can get in the field, we'll interseed alfalfa with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then anything that we put in from here on out, I don't think we'll be putting any alfalfa with in the spring. Well, depending on how it comes up, but usually that stuff's kind of a cover, and then we'll till it and put oats or spring wheat in.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, John, I know it's a busy time of year, and I really appreciate you taking the time to help me record this.
Yep, no problem.
This episode of Back to the Roots podcast is brought to you by Soil Biotics.